please report to the Kiana system. Our partnership with Iconian is starting to bear fruit, but the project may take more time to complete than we have left. We must consider any plan that ensures our survival.
The connection with the equivalent and yeah, accept. Of course. Go. And we will use our fancy transport drive. Well, didn't have that yet. Oh, I think can here. Forgot. Supposed to. It's also. Let's go back to Tao Tiwa. Hi. Yep. And then what the hell? Alright. Okay, yes. Okay, we're here. Okay. So good. Engage transfer drive. Okay, time to use both now. Here we are. Cinta kuadrat. Cewek, oi. Cukup ni.
You are cleared for docking.
That's it? No secrets? Captain Kagan sent his aide unit to that trick to give you a brief tour of the Iconian research facility. So far, the Alliance ventures with the Kingdom has been very productive. Together, our teams are making progress toward completing nice designs for a ship capable of temporal incursions. The lieutenant is waiting to greet you, sir. Acknowledge. Go! He's right there.
Greetings! On behalf of Captain Cogran and Alliance Command, I am pleased to welcome you to our research station. The Captain is completing his preparations. In the meantime, I will give you a tour of the facility, where we are building a weapon that will end the Iconian threat once and for all. Follow me. Our researchers can explain how the weapon works and answer any questions you may have.
What are you doing, Lieutenant? Anyway, in the ship station. Right. See. Freedom technology. Okay, back here. Oh. Here? Yeah, I think so.
And here, we have the development area.
How much do you know about the Krenim, 7 of 9?
The Borg have extensive records on the Krenim. They were a species of great interest to the Collective.
I'm not sure I like the idea of the Borg studying us like a bug in a petri dish. I'm not sure I like the idea of the Borg studying anyone.
And what about the Iconians?
The Collective spent a great deal of resources pursuing Iconian technology. They believed the species to be extinct. They were incorrect.
So much for the Borg knowing everything.
The Iconians' technology is far beyond even the capabilities of the Borg.
Fine, but what about shielding the ship that's using the weapon? We haven't solved the paradox problem yet.
This is not my first experience with alternate timelines. It would be possible to develop a form of temporal shielding to protect this vessel from alterations in the timeline.
Welcome to our facility. I'm working with one of the teams here to develop the time ship and choose a target. What we do is different from time travel. Anorax's designs are actually for a weapon that can remove elements from the time stream completely, and then time reshapes itself to account for that absence.
No. Time shapes it itself. Does that mean reality itself will change?
In some ways, yes. Once the weapon is fired, it can create an entirely new reality. And anyone or anything that isn't temporally shielded will be a part of that reality. That's why we have to proceed slowly. If we're not careful, we could change everything we know and not even know what's happened.
That could be dangerous to us as it is to the Iconians.
But think of the possibilities. We could reverse the effects of wars, stop threats like the Iconians, even turn back time and eliminate the Borg. This is a weapon, but it's one that can make a better galaxy.
Perhaps. But really terrible things have come about from the best of intentions.
Captain Cogran's briefing is about to begin. Follow me to the conference room.
Lead the way, Lieutenant. Oops, sorry. I haven't eaten yet. So. Captain Kakan. Kagwan.
Greetings. I have heard much about your victories against the Iconians. It is an honor to work with a warrior like yourself. We are almost ready to begin. First, however, Agent Cray would like a word.
Agent Cray. Oh. Like. Sorry.
Greetings. My name is Philip Cray. I'm the liaison from Temporal Investigations for this project.
And who are you? Who are you?
Well, where do I start? I'm 157 years old. That's only because I spent 90 years caught in a temporal distortion in the Typhon Expanse, serving as an ensign under Captain Morgan Bateson on the USS Bozeman. Much of the crew of the Bozeman found it difficult to integrate back into Starfleet. So much had changed. The Temporal Intelligence Agency took in many of my shipmates, due to our first-hand knowledge of events that occurred in the past. So, that's where I ended up.
Why does this project need liaison for temporal initiations?
The Federation has some serious concerns about possible violations of the Temporal Prime Directive. Normally, Starfleet personnel are strictly prohibited from directly interfering with historical events, and should make every effort to maintain the timeline.
And yes, this weapon is being created for exactly that purpose.
Indeed. That should tell you how serious this war has become. If the Iconians win, there probably won't be anyone left to preserve the timeline. In this instance, my role is to ensure that we succeed in our task with the minimal possible disruption to the timeline, as well as to address any repercussions of those disruptions.
So the directive is only a directive when it is convenient.
I don't disagree. As a Starfleet officer, I am sworn to uphold the Temporal Prime Directive. Not only that, but I have seen firsthand the dangers that come from ignoring it. But as the Vulcans say, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. The Iconians cannot use time travel, and that makes it a weapon we can use against them. We must consider carefully whether it is too dangerous of a weapon to use at all.
Sorry? Into yes.
The war is not going as well as we might wish. Our fleets are protecting key worlds, but dozens of other targets have fallen to Herald attacks. Civilian casualties are rising. We need to act. This facility is building a device to turn the tide in our favor. Captain Nog, what is the status of the weapon?
We've had some setbacks, Captain. We're still weeks from a working prototype. No amount of temporal manipulation will change that.
And have you chosen a target for the temporal incursion?
We're still running simulations, and we've configured the holodecks to help us evaluate the possible changes that occur after removing an element from the time stream. Some of these scenarios show promise, but none are exactly what you want.
Very well. We cannot afford to wait another day. We are losing this war. We need to strike now. A direct engagement is our only option. We will put all our resources into a full attack on the Iconians. Every ship we can muster will be a part of one massive strike against the Herald Sphere. Captain Paris is already moving into position with the Vanguard. Ships here will report to the Herald Sphere as soon as possible. There will be more warriors in Stovokor tonight. But first, we will make the Iconians bleed.
Orders green from Captain Grant now, sir. The battle has commenced and Captain Paris is preparing to engage the enemy. The correct H is to rendezvous with the task force waiting in the Canada system and then report with them to the Iraq ship to reinforce the ships ready there. Acknowledge. Acknowledge, Captain. This is the ship.
You are the last ship to arrive. We are ready to set course for the sphere.
What to maximum warp?
Alpha Wing, you are cleared for departure.
Sir, the fleet is in complete disarray. We're picking up multiple distress calls as well as the sufficient from Captain Paris. So he wants me to put them on the same screen on screen.
Am I glad to see you? It's just not working. The Iconians are gating in their ships, and they have far more reserves than we anticipated. I've called for a hold on the flagship assault until we regroup. There's no point in a suicide run. First, we need to help our ships in trouble. Can I count on you to help?
With the other weekend for your ships, Captain.
This is Kyla Bex from the USS Keller. We are losing warp containment and are in need of immediate assistance.
Engines and weapons are down! Requesting immediate assistance!
Well, sister. Better.
We cannot continue the fight without weapons. I must make repairs.
Sorry. We have to make repairs.
We're falling back.
I cannot do that, Captain. A Klingon does not run from battle. Farewell, Captain. Today is a good day to die.
All right, people, we've got one shot at this.
travels to the atmosphere. The, the inside of the sphere. Well, once we know the Urals are used here to control and protect the equipment network. Is that check forces have something shares like this since the beginning of the war, but we're never managed to do more than knock the gateways offline temporarily. First loyalty is running out our search teams. In related incident, where the health communities will guys. Okay.
The flagship's shields are down, and it's losing power. Looks like they're trying to interface with a sphere to give themselves a boost. This might be our one chance to board it and take control. I have 3 troop transports standing by.
The third, which is the package.
deal with them.
Aim to finish.
Boarding parties are on the flagship and reporting heavy resistance. I'll stay here and keep any reinforcements off your back. You need to transport to the flagship and help our teams there.
Sure. Difference from the sphere is lacking some compensate out. Do it again.
Great! We got through. What's your status? We can't reach any of the the other away teams.
The safety aboard teams are being developed.
Acknowledged. Sensors are picking up power fluctuations near your coordinates. The impact with the Quartar must have disrupted their systems. Start disabling anything you can reach. If we do enough damage, maybe that will help us take their ship.
That sounds like an old-fashioned turret raid.